Welcome to the world of science fiction, where extraordinary tales come to life. Enjoy the journey. The pulse carbine came apart in Sam Morrison's hands like a lover's whispered promise. Smooth, inevitable, perfect. Each component found its place on the greasy bar rag without his eyes even cracking open. His fingers knew every groove, every catch, every deadly secret the weapon held. "That's 37 seconds, chirped a voice from across the bar. "Yesterday, you did it in 35. You're getting old, Uncle Sam." Sam opened one eye to find 8-year-old Anya perched on her usual stool, silver hair catching the dim amber light that filtered through his bar's tinted windows. Her purple skin had that luminescent quality all Vorthani children possessed, like she'd been dipped in twilight and forgotten to dry off. "Shouldn't you be in some fancy school right now, learning to sing at rocks or whatever rich kids do?" Sam reassembled the weapon with deliberate slowness, watching her reflection in the polished bar top. "It's resonance training, not singing at rocks." She swung her legs, too short to reach the footrest. "And I escaped. Again. Through the service tunnel near the kitchen. The guards think I'm too small to reach the latch, but I use a mop handle. Your father know you're here? Daddy thinks I'm practicing my harmony scales with boring Master Corvin." She leaned forward conspiratorially. "But Master Corvin falls asleep after lunch every single day. His snoring sounds like—" She made a rumbling sound that did, Sam had to admit, perfectly capture an old Vorthani's nasal passages at work. The silent echo stood empty at this hour, just how Sam preferred it. No customers meant no problems. No problems meant nobody asking questions about why a human bartender could strip military-grade hardware blindfolded. The bar itself was an insult to everything Vorthak Prime stood for. No music, no resonance chambers, no harmonic amplifiers. Just blessed, beautiful silence. "Uncle Sam, why don't you like sounds?" Anya pulled a wrapped bundle from her dress pocket. "Everyone else says the planet sings to them. Daddy says our blood carries the frequency of the deep canyons, and that's why House Kythara owns the crystal mines." "Your daddy says a lot of things." Sam unwrapped what turned out to be 3 cookies, still warm. The purple berries baked into them released a scent like cinnamon mixed with ozone. "Your mother's recipe?" "She made them this morning. I saved them just for you." Anya beamed. "Miri says I shouldn't steal food, but it's not stealing if it's for friends, right? Your sister's got more sense than both of us combined." "Miri's boring. She just reads old books and argues with Daddy about politics." Anya mimed an exaggerated yawn. "Yesterday, they fought for 2 whole hours about some council thing. She said the new council leader smells like rust and lies." Sam's hand paused halfway to the cookie. "Zarek?" "Zarek Iron Voice. Yeah, he visited yesterday." His voice made our crystal chandelier shake. Daddy didn't kneel when he entered, and Mr. Zarek got all red. Well, purple red, you know what I mean. And his neck did this thing like a puffed-up lizard. The girl's mimicry of Zarek's indignation was so precise, Sam nearly smiled. Almost. He wanted Daddy to support something called a resonance referendum. Daddy said no. Then Mr. Zarek said Daddy would regret choosing the wrong frequency, whatever that means. Sam filed that information away. Political upheaval meant violence, and violence meant his carefully maintained neutrality might crack. 5 years he'd kept this bar running. 5 years of aggressive non-involvement. 5 years of pretending his hands hadn't ended more lives than most plagues. "Uncle Sam?" Anya had moved from her stool, now standing next to where he worked. "Can I ask you something really super important?" "Shoot. Why don't you have a wife?" The question hit him between the ribs. Where'd that come from? "Mama says all adults need someone to love them, or they turn into dried fruit. You've been alone since I met you. That's like—" She counted on her fingers. "Forever ago." "Maybe I like being dried fruit." "Nobody likes being dried fruit. Even actual dried fruit probably wishes it was still regular fruit. She studied him with those large violet eyes that seemed to pick up every micro-expression. Were you married on Earth? No. Did someone break your heart? Kid, you've been watching too many hollow dramas. Miri says soldiers don't get married because they're already married to death. She said it matter-of-factly, the way only children could discuss terrible things. But you're not a soldier, you're a bartender. Sam's hands had started cleaning glasses that didn't need cleaning. That's right, just a bartender. A bartender who can take apart she squinted at the weapon, pulse carbine Mark 7 with his eyes closed in 37 seconds. Mark 6, actually. See? You know gun things. And last week when that mean man grabbed Mrs. Talene, you hit him so fast I didn't even see you move. His teeth went ping, ping, ping on the floor like rain. He slipped. On your fist. She giggled, then grew serious again. I think you're lonely. That's why I bring you cookies. Cookies make everything better. Before Sam could respond, the bar's door chimed. Not the gentle acknowledgement of a customer, but 3 sharp notes. The emergency frequency reserved for government broadcasts. Every screen in the bar flickered to life. Even Sam's ancient Earth-made display, which hadn't worked in 2 years, suddenly blazed with crystal clarity. Zarek Iron Voice filled the screens. His purple skin had the mottled texture of someone who'd undergone extensive sonic enhancement surgery, ridges and valleys carved into his face to better channel sound. When he spoke, the bottles behind Sam's bar trembled. Citizens of Vorthok Prime, today marks a new harmonic epoch. The old families, those who claim divine resonance while hoarding our planet's wealth, have been judged by the true frequency. Anya had gone very still. Her small hand found Sam's arm. Lord Caithara of House Caithara has been found guilty of harmonic treason. He has corrupted the sacred songs, deafened himself to the planet's true voice. The screen cut to the Grand Resonance Plaza. Sam recognized it immediately, a natural amphitheater where the planet's crust was thin enough that deep harmonics rose from the mantle itself. A crowd had gathered, thousands of Vorthani arranged in concentric circles. In the center, Lord Caithara knelt. "Daddy," Anya whispered. The crowd began to move in unison, their feet striking the ground in perfect synchronization. Bum, bum, bum. The sound built, each impact adding to a standing wave that made the very air shimmer. Zarek himself stepped forward, carrying a ceremonial spear that hummed with its own frequency. Let all who would corrupt our harmony be silenced. The spear descended. The sound it made when it struck, a shriek that seemed to come from the planet itself, shattered every piece of glassware in Sam's bar. Ania's scream was lost in the cascade of breaking crystal, her small body shaking as she watched her father fall. The broadcast ended. Silence flooded back into the silent echo, broken only by the tinkling of glass shards settling and Anya's ragged breathing. "I have to go home," she said in a voice too small for words that big. "I have to find Miri. I have to—" Wait. Sam grabbed her shoulder as she bolted for the door. Outside, he could already hear the chaos starting. Loyal households would be fighting Zarek's forces, and anyone connected to House Caithara would be marked. "You can't go out there." "But Daddy needs—" Her eyes, those bright violet eyes that usually danced with mischief, were drowning. "He needs help." Sam knelt, bringing himself to her level. How did you tell a child her father was beyond help? How did you explain that the sound the spear made meant it had pierced not just flesh, but the very harmonic signature of life itself? "Ania, listen to me. Your house isn't safe anymore." "But Mama, your mother is smart. She'll protect Miri. They'll go to ground. Wait for this to blow over." It wouldn't blow over. Sam knew a purge when he saw one, But 8-year-olds didn't need that truth. Not yet. Stay here tonight, just until the door exploded inward. 3 Vorthani soldiers in the red-striped armor of Zarek's harmonic guard stepped through, their boots crunching on broken glass. "The offspring of the traitor," the lead guard said, his voice mechanically flat, the result of loyalty conditioning. "Surrender her." Sam stood slowly, pushing Anya behind him. "She's my employee, has been for months. Check the records." Lies dissolve in pure resonance, human. The guard raised his sonic staff, its tip already humming. "Stand aside or be silenced with her." "Please," Anya whimpered from behind Sam's legs. "Please don't let them take me." Sam felt something shift in his chest, a tectonic plate that had been still for 5 years grinding back to life. He'd walked away from war, from the weight of command, from decisions that cost lives. He'd hidden in this bar, on this dust bowl planet, serving drinks to aliens who barely tolerated his presence. But Ania's fingers were twisted in his shirt. Ania, who brought him cookies, who asked why he was lonely, who thought 37 seconds to disassemble a weapon was slow. "Final warning, human." Sam looked at the guard, really looked at him. Saw the stance was wrong for the weapon he carried. Saw the gap in his armor where the chest piece met the shoulder guard. Saw 17 different ways to kill him before his finger could depress the firing stud. "No," Sam said. "Then be Sam moved. The guard's sonic staff clattered across the floor, its owner crumpling with a crushed windpipe. The second guard managed half a scream before Sam's elbow connected with his temple. The third actually got his weapon raised before Sam grabbed Ania, dove behind the bar, and came up with the pulse carbine he'd just cleaned. The third guard's chest sprouted a smoking hole. Silence again, except for Ania's hyperventilating. "Uncle Sam?" "Yeah, kid?" That was only 19 seconds. Despite everything, Sam almost laughed. "We need to go. They'll send more." "Where? Where can we go? They took our house, they killed Daddy, they'll kill Miri and Mama, and... Hey!" He knelt again, checking the window. More red stripes were gathering in the street. "Remember what you said about friends helping each other?" She nodded, tears cutting clean tracks through the dust on her purple cheeks. "Well, friends don't let friends face bad guys alone. We're going to find your sister and your mom, but first, we need to move. Can you be brave for me? Just for a little while?" I think so." "Good girl. Now, you know those service tunnels you mentioned? The ones you used to escape boring Master Corvin?" A tiny smile fought through her tears. "Yeah? Think you could show a dried-up old fruit how to navigate them?" "You're not dried fruit," she said, taking his offered hand. "You're just lonely, but that's okay. I'm lonely now too." They slipped out through the bar's back entrance as the sound of marching feet grew closer. The silent echo, Sam's carefully maintained bubble of neutrality, sat empty behind them, broken glass catching the last rays of sunlight like scattered stars. 3 months. That's how long it would take Sam to track down what remained of House Kythara. 3 months of Ania growing thinner, quieter, the bright chatter that had filled his bar replaced by hollow-eyed survival. 3 months of close calls and near misses, of teaching an 8-year-old how to hide, how to run, how to disappear into crowds. 3 months before they'd find Muriel. And when they did, she'd be on her knees in the Grand Resonance Plaza, a crowd baying for blood, and Ania would speak the words that would shatter Sam's carefully maintained distance once and for all. "Save my sister. I'll be your slave forever." But that was still 3 months away. Right now, there was just a soldier who'd forgotten how to be one, and a little girl who'd lost everything, navigating service tunnels beneath a city that had turned against them both. "Uncle Sam?" Anya whispered as they crawled through the darkness. "Yeah? Thank you for not being dried fruit. Anytime, kid, anytime." The stone struck Muriel's shoulder with a sound like cracking wood. She didn't flinch, couldn't afford to. The crowd wanted her to break, to scream, to validate their bloodlust with fear. She'd die before giving them that satisfaction. Deaf blood! Deaf blood! The chant hammered against the plaza walls. 5,000 voices merged into one terrible instrument. Another stone. This one caught her ribs, and she felt something give. Still, she kept her eyes forward, focused on the ancient mural depicting Vorthak's first settlers. Her father had brought her here when she was Ania's age, explaining how their ancestors learned to hear the planet's songs. All lies, apparently. Just power dressed up as divine providence. "Sister!" The small voice cut through the mob's rhythm like a blade through silk. Muriel's composure finally cracked as she saw Anya pushing through the crowd, her tiny frame bouncing off legs and bodies like a pinball. No, 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 no. "Look!" someone pointed. "The younger deaf blood." Hands reached for Anya, but she twisted away with the fluid desperation of a child who'd spent 3 months learning that adults meant danger. She broke free of the crowd's edge and ran toward the only figure standing apart from the mob, a human male leaning against a damaged hover truck, arms crossed, watching the proceedings with the detached interest of someone observing insects. Muriel watched her baby sister grab the human's arm, gesticulating wildly. Even from 30 meters away, she could see Ania's desperation, the way she actually dropped to her knees. The human, she recognized him now, the bartender from that silent establishment in the merchant quarter, remained unmoved. Then Anya did something that made Muriel's broken ribs seem trivial by comparison. Her little sister, the girl who once declared she'd marry a star prince and live in a palace made of moonbeams, pressed her forehead to the ground. "I'll be your slave, forever and ever and ever, I promise. I can clean, I can wash dishes. I practiced on rocks when we lived in the tunnels. Please, please, please." The human finally moved, reaching down to pull Anya to her feet. Muriel couldn't hear what he said, but she saw Anya's face crumple, saw her gesture frantically toward the plaza, saw her hold up her small hands, counting something on her fingers. The crowd had noticed the exchange. The rhythm faltered, voices dropping to murmurs. Everyone knew about the human's bar, about the unspoken agreement that kept it operating despite its offense to every Vorthani principle. Sam Morrison looked across the plaza and met Muriel's eyes. She saw him take inventory, her bruises, her torn dress that had once cost more than most citizens earned in a year, the way she held herself despite what had to be at least 2 broken ribs. She saw him look at the crowd, at Zarek's guards stationed at strategic points, at the ceremonial execution platform being wheeled into position. She saw the exact moment he made his decision. "Well, shit," his voice carried across the plaza, somehow audible despite being barely raised. "Hey, purple girl with the fancy bruises, your sister claims you make decent cookies. That true?" The crowd's murmur rose to offended buzzing. Muriel almost laughed. The absurdity of it, being recruited for her baking skills while kneeling in her own execution plaza. What? Simple question. Can you bake, or is the kid overselling your skills? Sam started walking toward her, hands in his pockets as if 5,000 people weren't watching. "Because I need kitchen help, and apparently she's vouching for you." "The human oversteps." Zarek's voice boomed from the platform above. His enhanced vocal cords turned every word into a weapon. "This is Vorthani justice. This is a job interview." Sam didn't even look up at him. "I'm hiring staff. That's commerce, not politics. Unless you're saying I can't run my business anymore, because that would violate our agreement." He'd reached Muriel now. Up close, she could see the scars on his knuckles, the way his weight stayed balanced on his back foot even while appearing relaxed. This wasn't just some bartender. "Stand up," he said quietly. Don't wobble. Don't show them the ribs hurt. How did you? Because I've had plenty. Now stand. She stood. The world tilted, righted itself. Sam's hand on her elbow looked casual but provided exactly enough support to keep her vertical. The deaf blood is condemned, someone shouted from the crowd. The unemployed woman is hired, Sam countered. Unless someone wants to explain to the Trade Commission why humans can't employ Vorthani. I'm sure Earth's embassy would find that fascinating. The threat was subtle but effective. Vorthok Prime needed trade with Earth. More importantly, they needed Earth to not pay too close attention to what happened here. Zarek descended from the platform, each step deliberate, his enhanced body generating subsonic frequencies that made everyone's teeth ache. You test dangerous harmonies, human. I run a bar, it's not that deep. Sam still hadn't let go of Muriel's elbow. We done here? Because I've got inventory to check and apparently cookies to sample. You cannot simply... Actually, I can. Now Sam did look at Zarek, and something in his expression made the larger alien step back. See, I've been really good about staying neutral. 5 years of serving drinks and not asking questions. But if you want to make this complicated, we can make it complicated. Your choice. The plaza had gone dead silent. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. Ania, who'd been frozen in place, suddenly darted forward and wrapped her arms around Muriel's waist. Miri, you're okay. Uncle Sam saved you. I told you he would. He's magic. Not magic, kid. Just employed. Sam stepped back, gesturing toward his truck. Ladies, shall we discuss your job duties somewhere with less audience participation? They walked through the crowd that parted like water. No one tried to stop them. No one dared. The human had invoked the agreement, wrapped their rescue in bureaucracy and veiled threats. Muriel felt eyes burning into her back. 5,000 witnesses to her humiliation, her rescue by an alien, her family's complete fall from grace. 3 months ago, she'd walked these same streets in silk and jewels. Now she stumbled along in rags, dependent on a human's questionable mercy. The inside of Sam's bar was a disaster. Broken glass covered every surface. The windows were boarded with metal sheets, and the air reeked of spilled alcohol and desperation. Home sweet home, Sam muttered, clearing glass from a chair with his sleeve. Sit before you fall over. Muriel sat. The movement sent fire through her ribs, and she couldn't suppress a gasp. I know it hurts, Anya said solemnly, climbing into Muriel's lap with the careful precision of someone who'd learned that sudden movements meant pain. When the bad men hit me, Uncle Sam said breathing helps. In through your nose, out through your mouth. When did... Muriel looked at Sam. She said you saved her 3 months ago. Wrong place, wrong time. Sam pulled out a medical kit that looked military grade. Hold still. This is going to suck. He worked with practiced efficiency, binding her ribs, cleaning cuts, never asking permission but somehow never crossing boundaries. Ania kept up a constant stream of chatter. And then we lived in the maintenance tunnels for like forever, but Uncle Sam made it fun. He taught me to navigate in the dark by counting steps. 27 steps from Junction 4 to the hidden water tap. 43 steps to the emergency exit near the old market. You lived in tunnels for 3 months? Muriel stared at Sam. With her? She's tough. Sam secured the last bandage. Tougher than she should have to be. I'm super tough. Anya puffed out her chest. I only cried twice. Well, maybe 5 times, but only twice really loud. Shh. Muriel pulled her sister close, ignoring the protest from her ribs. It's okay. It's not okay. Anya burst into tears. Nothing's okay. Daddy's gone, and Mama's gone, and they hurt you, and our house smells like other people now, and I haven't had a bath in forever, and I miss my dolls. Sam set a glass of something purple in front of Muriel. Vorthani brandy. The good stuff. I don't... Trust me, you do. She drank. It burned, but a good burn, clearing her head. So, Sam leaned against the bar, studying them. Want to tell me what really happened? Why'd Zarek target your family specifically? Muriel hesitated. 3 months of running had taught her trust was lethal, but this human had just faced down a mob for them. Father discovered something about the Resonance Council, the sounds they use to control crowds. They're not sacred. They're not even complex, just basic rhythm patterns that trigger herd mentality. Drums, Sam said. They're using drums. How did you... Because humans figured that out centuries ago. Get enough people moving in sync, their brains shut off. They become one organism, easy to control. Father wanted to expose it. He had recordings, evidence, but Zarek moved first. The evidence? Gone. Destroyed with our house. Maybe not. Anya suddenly bounced up. Maybe not gone. Both adults looked at her. I have friends, street kids. They know everything. She turned to Sam, vibrating with excitement. Remember when I used to bring you cookies? I didn't just come straight here. I made stops, gave cookies to the hungry kids. They told me things in exchange. You built an intelligence network, Sam said slowly, with baked goods. I don't know what that means, but yes, they still watch for me. Even now. There's Tiny. He's not tiny, he's actually huge, but it's funny. And Sparkle, she's missing an eye, but the other one's really pretty, and Mud. He lives in the drain pipes and knows everything about underground stuff. Ania, Muriel interrupted. These children, they'd help us? They hate the shiny men too. The guards kick them and call them tunnel rats, but they remember when I gave them food. Her voice dropped to a whisper. I told them you'd bake more cookies if we saved you. You promised cookies, Sam rubbed his forehead, to a network of street children in exchange for intelligence. Was that bad? No, kid, that's actually brilliant. A crash from outside cut off Muriel's response. Through the boarded windows, they could see shadows moving, lots of them. Seems Zarek didn't appreciate my hiring practices, Sam said, remarkably calm for someone about to be stormed by guards. He walked to a section of wall that looked solid but swung open at his touch. Inside hung enough weapons to outfit a small army. Uncle Sam, Anya's eyes went huge. Are those all yours? No, they're ours now. He pulled out a pistol, checked its charge, handed it to Muriel. Know how to use this? Father insisted we learn. The weight felt good in her hand, solid, real. Good, because in about 30 seconds, Zarek's going to learn why Earth made me a colonel. He selected a rifle that looked like it could punch through a building. Kid, remember what I taught you about hiding? Find a small space, count to 100. Don't come out until you say the password. Anya was already moving toward a cabinet. What's the password? Muriel asked. Sam smiled, the first genuine smile she'd seen from him. It transformed his face from worn soldier to something almost boyish. Cookies. The password is always cookies. The door exploded inward. What happened next would become legend in the merchant quarter. How one human and one injured Vorthani woman held off 20 guards. How a bar full of broken glass became a fortress. How a little girl's network of street children appeared at crucial moments, throwing rocks at guard vehicles, creating diversions, carrying messages. But in that moment, as Muriel stood shoulder to shoulder with this strange, scarred human who'd saved them for no reason she could fathom, she felt something she hadn't felt in 3 months. Hope. On your left, Sam said casually, firing twice. 2 guards dropped. Behind the bar, she responded, putting 3 shots through the wood. A scream confirmed her aim. Not bad for a noble lady. Not bad for a bartender. I have my moments. They moved in sync, covering each other's blind spots as if they'd been fighting together for years. When her ribs screamed, he stepped forward. When his ammunition ran low, she provided cover. "Why?" she asked during a lull, both of them crouched behind an overturned table. "Why save us?" Sam ejected a spent clip, slammed home a fresh one. "Your sister brought me cookies for a year. Every week. Sometimes twice." "That's it? Cookies?" No one else ever did. The simplicity of it, the loneliness it implied, made her chest tighten in a way that had nothing to do with broken ribs. "When this is over," she said, "I'll bake you a lifetime supply. Deal, though we have to survive first." "Details." He laughed, actually laughed, as guards poured through the windows. Later, Ania would emerge from her hiding spot to find them sitting among unconscious guards, both bleeding but grinning like idiots. "Did we win?" she asked. "We didn't lose," Sam corrected. "That's the same thing." "No, kid, it's really not. But it's enough for now." Muriel watched him ruffle Ania's hair, saw how her sister leaned into the gesture like a flower toward sunlight. This human, this stranger who owed them nothing, had become their anchor in a world gone mad. "So," she said, "about that job, what exactly are my duties?" Sam surveyed his destroyed bar, the unconscious guards, the broken windows, the street children peering through the holes. "Well, first we need to redecorate, then maybe overthrow a government. You know, light duties." "Overthrow? What?" "Your father was right about the drums, which means Zarek's power is built on lies, and I really, really hate lies." "You're going to take on the entire Resonance Council?" "We are. You, me, the kid, and apparently her cookie-powered spy network." "That's insane." "Yeah, probably. But I've been sane for 5 years and look where it got me. Time to try something else." Anya clapped her hands. "We're going on an adventure, a real one, with fighting and secrets and everything." "And cookies," Sam added. "Can't overthrow a government without cookies." "Obviously," Muriel found herself saying, and was rewarded with another of his rare, transformative smiles. Outside, they could hear more guards approaching. Inside, a drunk ex-colonel, a broken noble, and an 8-year-old mastermind prepared to change the world. It was insane. It was impossible. It was exactly what they were going to do. The door didn't just break, it detonated. Metal fragments peppered the walls as Zarek Iron Voice stepped through the smoking hole, his enhanced body generating harmonics that made every bottle in Sam's rebuilt bar sing a death note. "Enough games, human." Behind him, 24 guards fanned out, sonic weapons humming. Not the usual street thugs. These wore the black armor of Zarek's personal resonance guard, warriors who'd undergone the same surgical modifications as their leader. Anya's fingers dug into Sam's leg hard enough to leave bruises. "Uncle Sam." "I know, kid." Sam didn't move from where he sat at the bar, deliberately continuing to clean a glass. Mr. Iron Voice seems upset about something. "Your mockery ends today." Zarek's voice made the floorboards crack. "Surrender the deaf bloods or I'll harmonize your bones into powder." "That's not actually how sound works." Sam set down the glass with careful precision, but points for creativity. Muriel stepped out from the back room, flour still dusting her hands from the morning's baking. 3 weeks since the plaza incident, and she'd actually started making cookies for Anya's spy network. Sam watched her assess the situation. Exits blocked, overwhelming force. Anya exposed. "Take me," Muriel said. "Let my sister go. She's 8 years old, Zarek." Age means nothing to corrupted blood. Zarek's enhanced vocal cords turned every word into a physical assault. "Your father's heresy flows through both of you." "My daddy wasn't a heretic," Anya burst out from behind Sam. "You're just a big purple bully with a stupid voice." The guards raised their weapons. Sam stood. It was a simple movement, man getting up from chair, but something about it made everyone freeze. Maybe it was the way his shoulders rolled back, shedding 5 years of practice slouching. Maybe it was how his hand drifted toward the pulse carbine under the bar. Or maybe it was the smile, cold and thin as winter moonlight. "Zarek," Sam said conversationally, "do you know why your council really honored our agreement all these years? Because we are merciful to... because you're terrified." Sam stepped around the bar, each movement deliberate. Not of me personally, though that's part of it, but of what would happen if Earth actually paid attention to this dust ball. Earth doesn't care about Colonel Samuel Ghost Morrison. The words hung in the air like a blade. 3-time recipient of the Solar Cross, commander of the Silent Legion, hero of the Proxima Offensive. Sam kept walking forward. The man who held the Kepler Gate for 17 hours with 12 soldiers against 3,000 Scar warriors. One of the guards lowered his weapon slightly. "The ghost of Kepler? That's impossible. He died. I retired." Sam was 3 feet from Zarek now. "Came here to pour drinks and forget the weight of all those medals, but you just had to push, didn't you?" Zarek's enhanced body should have made him immovable. The surgical modifications, the density adjustments, the harmonic stabilizers, all designed to make him the perfect Vorthani warrior. Sam grabbed him by the throat with one hand and lifted. The guard stood frozen as their leader's feet left the ground, his enhanced mass meaningless against Earth-born muscle density and decades of combat conditioning. "Here's what happens next," Sam said quietly, holding Zarek like he weighed nothing. "You leave. Don't come back. Don't send anyone back, because if you do, I'll stop pretending to be a bartender." "You wouldn't dare," Zarek gasped. "Treaties. Diplomatic. The colony charter gives me broad discretionary powers in cases of local insurgency." Sam's smile widened. "Funny thing about retirement, they never actually revoked my commission, just marked me inactive. One message to Earth Command, and I can have a full Marine deployment here in 6 weeks." He dropped Zarek, who crashed to his knees, gasping. "Or," Sam continued, "we could handle this locally. Your choice." "Uncle Sam's doing his scary voice," Anya whispered loudly to Muriel. "That means someone's in trouble." Despite everything, Muriel almost laughed. Zarek struggled to his feet, rage replacing shock. "You think Earth frightens us? We have the planet's voice, the sacred harmonics. You have drums." Everyone turned. In the doorway stood 3 small figures, street children, filthy and grinning. "Tiny," Anya squealed. "You came." The largest child, who was indeed ironically small, held up a recording device. "Got it all, Annie, just like you asked." "Got what?" Zarek demanded. "Everything," Tiny said. "You setting up the drums under the plaza. You practicing the sacred rhythms. You laughing about how stupid people are for believing it." Sam took the device, activated the projection mode. Zarek's image filled the air, standing in what looked like a warehouse. "Idiots actually think the planet talks to them," the recording Zarek laughed. 3 drums hidden in the plaza foundation, and they'll believe anything I tell them. Watch." He beat a simple rhythm. "That's their divine harmony. Pathetic." The guards exchanged glances. Several lowered their weapons completely. "It's fake," one whispered. "The sacred songs." "All fake," Ania announced, climbing onto a table. "My daddy knew. That's why they killed him, because he found out they were just hitting drums and pretending." "Lies." Zarek's voice shook the building, desperation leaking through. "The child corrupts." "Then prove it," Sam challenged. "Call the planet's voice right now, without your hidden drums. Show us the real harmonics." Silence. Zarek's mouth opened, closed. His enhanced vocal cords hummed uselessly. "That's what I thought." Sam turned to the guards. "Gentlemen, you've been following a fraud. Question is, what do you do about it?" The lead guard pulled off his helmet, revealing a young Vorthani face creased with anger. 5 years. 5 years I served the sacred frequencies. He turned to Zarak. My brother was declared deaf blood. I watched him die. For what? For your drums? Theron, don't... Theron's fist connected with Zarek's jaw with a sound like breaking stone. What followed wasn't a battle. It was a demolition. The guards didn't just turn on Zarak. They systematically destroyed everything he represented. One by one, they stripped off their black armor, throwing the pieces at his feet. Stop, Zarak screamed, his enhanced voice cracking windows. I am your leader. I am... You're nothing, Muriel said quietly. She'd moved to stand beside Sam, Anya between them. Just a small man who killed my father for power. Your father was weak. The pulse carbine appeared in Sam's hand so fast it seemed like magic. Choose your next words very carefully, Sam advised. Zarak looked around the room, at his former guards, at the street children recording everything, at the small family unit that had somehow destroyed his empire. This isn't over. Yes, Sam said simply. It is. Zarak fled. No dramatic exit, no final threat. He just ran, his enhanced body carrying him into the night while the city learned the truth through a network of cookie-bribed street children. Did we win? Anya asked, looking up at Sam. We survived. Sometimes that's the same thing. But what happens now? Muriel touched his arm. The power vacuum. Not our problem. Sam holstered the weapon. The Vorthani can sort out their own government. We've got a bar to run. That's it? One of the former guards stared at him. You could take control. Earth's authority is something I walked away from. Sam knelt in front of Ania. Kid, you did good. Your spy network saved the day. She beamed. Does this mean I get extra cookies? All the cookies you want. Forever? Well, within reason. Forever and ever and ever? Muriel laughed, the sound bright in the wreckage. She's got you there. Sam looked between them. This purple child who'd decided he was worth saving, and her sister who'd somehow made his empty bar feel like home. Yeah, he said quietly. Forever works. 6 months later. Papa Sam, look what I can do. Sam looked up from the manifest to find Anya hanging upside down from the new bar's rafters, her silver hair streaming like water. How did you even get up there? Tiny taught me. He says I'm a natural climber. Can I join his rooftop guild? Absolutely not. But, Papa... Let her, Muriel said from behind him, her hand resting on her slightly swollen belly. She needs friends her own age. Her friends are tiny criminals. Reformed tiny criminals, Muriel corrected, wrapping her arms around him from behind. Who you hired to deliver bar supplies. That's different. How? It's... Shut up. She laughed against his shoulder. Such a way with words. How did I resist your charm? Must be my sparkling personality. Anya dropped from the rafters, landing with practiced ease. Miri, are you making a baby in there? Sam choked on air. Muriel just smiled. Yes, little star. You're going to be a big sister. Really? Anya bounced like a rubber ball. Can I teach it to spy? Oh, can I show it my tunnel maps? Will it like cookies? What if it doesn't like cookies? Can we send it back and get a different one? We're keeping it regardless of cookie preferences, Sam assured her. Even if it likes boring things like vegetables. Even then. You're very brave, Papa Sam. The door chimed. A proper chime now, not the emergency frequencies of before. Theron entered, wearing the simple clothes of a civilian. Morrison, ladies. He nodded respectfully. The new council wants to thank you again. Tell them we're good. Sam went back to his manifest. Bars open to everyone, even politicians. They also wanted to know if you'd consider an advisory position. No. I told them you'd say that. Theron smiled. The recording of Zarek's confession has reached every settlement on the planet. The deaf blood stigma is dying. Families are reuniting. Good. That's all you have to say? You changed our entire civilization. Sam looked up. I poured drinks and hired staff. Anything else was just community service. After Theron left, the bar settled into comfortable afternoon quiet. Anya sat at her special stool, drawing elaborate maps of her tunnel system. Muriel hummed while kneading dough for the evening's cookies. Sam cleaned glasses that didn't need cleaning, a habit he'd never broken. Do you miss it? Muriel asked suddenly. Earth? The military? No. Really? He set down the glass, walked over to where she worked. Flour dusted her purple skin like stars. I spent 15 years fighting other people's wars, following orders, being the perfect soldier. He brushed flour from her cheek. Here, I get to choose my battles, and my family. Even though we're purple, purple's growing on me. Papa Sam and Miri are being gross again, Anya announced without looking up from her maps. How do you even... Spy network, Papa. I know everything. That's terrifying. That's the point. Muriel laughed, pulling him down for a kiss that tasted like cookie dough and promises. Later, as the bar filled with its evening crowd, former guards and street children, merchants and nobles, all mixing in the carefully maintained silence, Sam stood behind his bar and felt something he hadn't experienced in decades: peace. Uncle Sam? Anya had snuck behind the bar using her new climbing skills. Papa Sam, he corrected. Right. Papa Sam? Was Miri right? Did you choose us? He looked down at this impossible child who'd saved him with cookies and stubbornness. No, kid. You chose me. I just got smart enough to say yes. She hugged his leg with fierce 8-year-old strength. Best choice ever. Yeah, he said, watching Muriel laugh with customers, feeling new life growing in their improvised family. Best choice ever. The silent echo had become something new, not just a bar that challenged Vorthani culture with its quiet, but a place where different worlds met and discovered they weren't so different after all, where a human soldier found peace, where a fallen noble found purpose, where a little girl found home, where cookies really could change the world. Papa Sam. Yeah? Can you teach me that thing where you lifted the scary man with one hand? When you're older. How much older? 30. That's forever. That's the point. You're mean. The meanest. I love you anyway. The words hit him like plasma fire, unexpected and overwhelming. Love you too, kid. Forever, forever, and ever, and ever. Good. Now can I have a cookie? Didn't you just eat 3? That was 20 minutes ago. The horror. I'm a growing spy. I need nutrients. Cookies aren't nutrients. They are if you believe hard enough. Muriel's laughter filled the bar, warm as sunrise. Give her a cookie, Sam. She did save the planet. She had help. Mostly me, though, Anya said seriously. My spy network was instrumental. Where did you even learn that word? Spy network. We know everything. Sam handed her a cookie, watched her bounce away to share it with Tiny and the other street kids who'd become regular fixtures. This wasn't the life he'd planned. Wasn't anything close to what a decorated Earth colonel should be doing. It was infinitely better. No regrets? Muriel asked, sliding behind the bar to stand with him. None. Even though you're married to an alien and raising a tiny criminal mastermind? Especially because of that. She leaned into him, and they watched their impossible family in their impossible bar on an impossible planet where drums no longer pretended to be gods. Papa Sam, Miri, look. Anya had climbed onto a table. I'm going to tell everyone the story of how we saved the world. Please don't. Once upon a time, there was a lonely bartender who was actually a secret super soldier, and I knew it all along because I'm very smart. Anya. And then I brought him cookies for a whole year because he was sad and needed friends. The bar had gone quiet, everyone listening to the 8-year-old's version of events, which somehow involved more explosions and fewer facts than reality. "Should we stop her?" Muriel whispered. "Nah, her version's better." And then Papa Sam lifted the bad man with one hand and said, "I am the ghost of Kepler," and everyone was so scared they ran away. That's not quite... And then we all lived happily ever after, and now Miri's making a baby, and I'm going to teach it everything about spying. The end. The bar erupted in applause. Anya bowed dramatically. "We're never living this down," Sam muttered. "Would you want to?" He looked at his wife, at his daughter, at the life they'd built from destruction and determination, and an unreasonable amount of cookies. Not for anything in the universe. 3 years later, "Papa! Papa!" Ania burst through the kitchen door, flour exploding in a white cloud. "Miri's throwing up again!" Sam looked up from the glass he was polishing, the same motion, 3 years running, that had become meditation more than necessity. "She's not sick, princess." But yesterday she threw up too, and the day before, Anya counted on flour-covered fingers, leaving white prints on everything she touched. That's 3 times. "Come here." Sam set down the glass, knelt to her level. At 11, she was all knees and elbows, growing too fast for grace. "Your sister's having a baby." Anya's violet eyes went impossibly wide. Baby? Like a real one? That cries and everything? That's generally how they work. But... Her mouth opened and closed like a fish. Then, in typical Ania fashion, she pivoted to what mattered most. "Can I teach it things?" "Like what?" "Important stuff, like which cookies are best for bribes, I mean sharing, and how to count steps in the dark like you taught me, and the names of all my friends, all 50 of them." Sam raised an eyebrow. 50? Maybe 60. She fidgeted. Possibly 75, but definitely not the 103 that Tiny claims, because that would be excessive. Absolutely excessive. Muriel appeared in the doorway, one hand on her still flat stomach, the other braced against the frame. Despite the lingering nausea, she glowed with that particular light that made Sam's chest tight with something he'd only learned to call happiness in the past 3 years. "Are you teaching our daughter about plausible deniability?" she asked. "Never. She figured that out on her own." "I'm naturally gifted," Anya announced, then froze. "Wait, our daughter? The baby's a girl?" "We don't know yet," Muriel said, settling into her chair, the one Sam had reinforced after the 3rd time Anya had used it as a launching pad. "Could be a boy. Either way, I'll teach them everything." Anya bounced. "Oh, can they sleep in my room? I already have the perfect spot picked out." "The weapon cabinet doesn't count as a spot, Anya. It's not a weapon cabinet anymore. It's a strategic supply storage area. Totally different." Sam pulled both his girls, when had he started thinking of them as his, into a hug. Muriel's head found his shoulder. Anya wiggled but didn't pull away. "You know," he said quietly, for a guy who couldn't keep a cactus alive. "You did okay with us," Muriel finished, her breath warm against his neck. "Okay?" Anya squawked. "We're amazing. We have the best bar on the whole planet, and the quietest, and Miri makes the best cookies, and Papa Sam can lift heavy things and scare mean people, and I have the most friends of any kid ever, and now we're getting a baby." She paused for breath, then added more quietly, "And we're together, forever and ever." "Forever and ever," Sam agreed, surprising himself by meaning it. Through the window, the afternoon sun painted Vorthak Prime's red canyons gold. The silent echo had lived up to its name, not just as a place without sound, but as an echo of what family could be. Not perfect, not without its scars, but real. "Papa Sam?" Anya asked, her voice muffled against his shirt. "Yeah? Remember when I used to bring you cookies? Before everything? Every single one. Were they really that good? Or were you just being nice? Sam thought about those early days. A lonely bar, a lonely man, and a little girl who decided he was worth saving long before he'd saved her. They were perfect, he said. Every burnt edge, every lopsided chocolate chip. Miri's are better, though, Anya admitted. Hey, Muriel laughed, the sound filling the bar with warmth. Don't put me in the middle of this. But it's true, Papa Sam. Tell her it's true. I plead the fifth. What's the fifth? Earth thing means I'm not stupid enough to judge my wife's cooking. But you just said, strategic supply storage area, remember? Some things are better kept secret. Anya grinned, that mischievous expression that meant she was planning something probably illegal but definitely entertaining. I'm gonna be the best big sister ever. The baby's gonna be so protected, no one will ever hurt them. Ever. The fierce certainty in her voice reminded Sam why he'd stayed. Not for the bar, not even for the quiet life he'd thought he wanted, but for this, a purple-skinned child who'd claimed him with cookies and stubbornness, and her sister who'd shown him that some battles were worth fighting after all. Hey, Muriel said suddenly, what should we name it? Cookie, Anya shouted. No, Cookie Jr. Absolutely not. Sam Jr. That's worse. Fine. But I get to teach them the important stuff, like how to spot exit routes and which merchants give the best discounts and how Uncle Tiny isn't really their uncle, but we call him that anyway. Deal, Sam said, knowing full well Anya would teach the baby whatever she wanted regardless. Outside, life continued on Vorthok Prime. No more drums pretending to be gods. No more fear dressed up as reverence. Just people living their lives, occasionally stopping by a quiet bar where a human soldier had learned to pour drinks and love a family he never expected. Papa Sam? Anya asked one more time. Yeah, Princess? We're home, right? This is home? Sam looked at his wife, at his daughter, at the life they'd built from ashes and determination, at the bar that had become a sanctuary, at the family that had become everything. Yeah, Princess, we're home. And for the first time in his life, Sam Morrison, colonel, soldier, fighter of other people's wars, knew exactly where he belonged. Right here, in the quiet, with the sound of his daughter's laughter and his wife's humming and the promise of new life growing, where cookies really had changed the world, where silence was louder than any drum, where home wasn't a place, but the people who refused to let you be alone. The silent echo stood testament to a simple truth. Sometimes the greatest victories weren't won with weapons or armies, but with an 8-year-old stubborn love and a decision to stay, forever and ever and ever, just like Anya had promised.